What if I told you that the reason your business isn't exploding, isn't your product, isn't your skills, isn't even your audience, it's your inability to generate attention at scale? In a world drowning in noise, visibility isn't optional. It's survival. And in today's episode, we're diving into a blueprint so potent, it's responsible for helping Alex Hormozi build real, raw, revenue-generating machines from thin air. The book? 100M Leads. This isn't just about getting more clicks. It's about turning your invisibility into irresistibility. We're pulling back the curtain on the exact psychological levers, irresistible offers, and scalable strategies Hormozi outlines to flood your pipeline with qualified leads who actually convert. And here's the twist. This episode isn't just a breakdown, it's a breakthrough, because we're ending today with a high-impact knowledge check designed to not just lock in what you learn, but upgrade the way you think about influence, leverage, and modern lead generation. So if you're ready to command attention, dominate distribution, and permanently end your leads drought, lock in. The mind shift starts now. The surprise you're about to get, let's just say, it could change your business forever.
Welcome to the deep dive. Ever just stop and think about, getting more customers? How powerful that really is.
It's fundamental, right?
Totally. Alex Hormozi, this guy's built businesses doing over $250 million a year. He talks about getting a $36 return for every $1 spent on ads.
Which is, mind-blowing, a 36.1 ratio.
Insane. And he also makes this point super simple but profound. Double your leads. And often, you can basically double your whole business. So today, we're not just, throwing numbers around. We're really diving deep into Hormozi's 100 milli leads framework.
Yep, getting into the nitty-gritty.
Our goal, pull out the absolute key stuff, the insights backed by actual, hard-won experience, stuff that can make you really informed, fast, without wading through fluff.
Absolutely. And what makes Hormozi's take so valuable is that it's really forged in the fire, building actual businesses, scaling them.
Right.
He's had huge wins, sure, but also big learning moments. That gym launch situation, losing 150K early on, that stuff matters.
Yeah, it's not just theory.
No, it's street tested. That's why the advice feels so practical, so relevant if you're actually trying to grow something.
And that's exactly why you're listening, right? You want to get this stuff, understand it efficiently, cut right to the chase.
Get the core strategies without the noise.
That's our mission here. Distill the biggest aha moments from his playbook on leads. He even says his books are deliberately no nonsense because time is valuable. You want the crucial bits quickly.
And it's interesting why he gives away so much, right? The book, the courses, often free or just at cost.
Yeah, what's the angle there?
Well, he's pretty open about it. It's about building real trust. And importantly, finding businesses his firm, acquisition.com, might invest in.
Ah, okay. Makes sense. Yeah, he's trying to help entrepreneurs get to that $1 million profit mark and then connect with folks over $1 million EBITDA for potential deals.
So the lead gen stuff isn't just about the immediate sale.
Exactly. It's a longer game. Building value, building relationships. That context is pretty key to understanding the strategies. Okay, let's unpack this then. Hormozi starts with a pretty direct punch if you're not getting enough leads. The problem is probably just that you're not advertising enough. Simple as that.
It is blunt, isn't it? But it kind of cuts right to the core issue for a lot of businesses.
Seems like it.
He really simplifies business growth. Two main levers. Get more customers or make existing customers worth more.
Right. 100 beam offers was about the second part.
Exactly. This one, 100A leads, is laser focused on the first part, just getting that steady stream of new customers flowing in.
And he breaks getting more customers down. 4 components, he says.
Yep. More leads, better quality leads, cheaper leads, and getting them reliably from, lots of different places.
It's a clear framework. More, better, cheaper, reliable.
And the ultimate aim, what he really stresses, is transforming your entire business, your whole operation, into what he calls a lead-getting machine.
A machine. I like that. Not just random marketing campaigns.
No, it's about building a system, something dependable, consistently bringing in potential customers.
So step 1 in building this machine, the lead magnet. Okay, for anyone maybe new to this term, what exactly is a lead magnet? Why is it so critical in Hormozi's view?
Right, so think of it like this. It's something valuable you give away for free to strangers, basically, people who don't know you yet.
In exchange for their contact info, usually.
Exactly. Name, email, whatever. It's that first little offering that grabs their interest. Hormozi uses his books, his courses, like this. Free, or maybe just covering the printing cost.
And the strategy behind giving away so much value.
It's that trust thing again. Build that initial goodwill. And for him, identify businesses that might fit his investment profile later on. But for you, the goal is to give away something so good
That they feel almost obligated.
kind of, or at least they're so impressed they naturally want to see what else you've got.
He really pushes this point. Make the lead magnet damn good. Like exceptionally valuable. Share your actual secrets, he says, not just some fluffy filler.
Oh, absolutely. Because think about it. If your free stuff is weak, what does that say about your paid stuff?
Yeah, it tanks your reputation before you even start.
Precisely. Weak content, weak leads, maybe even negative perception. But give away real value. You position yourself as an expert. You build that trust right out of the gate. That's huge for customer acquisition.
And a super practical tip he gives.
Mm.
Package that lead magnet in different ways. Ebook, sure. But also physical book, audio book, maybe a video version.
Right. Adapt to how people like to consume information.
He said his own book had almost a perfect 25% split across formats. That's wild. It just massively increased his reach.
It makes total sense, doesn't it? Some people read, some listen on their commute, others prefer video. If you only offer text, you're missing huge chunks of your potential audience.
So by offering multiple formats,
You're just making your value accessible to way more people. It's a smart way to broaden the net.
he also talks about the call to action, the CTA. Gotta have a clear one.
Yeah.
You need to tell people exactly what to do next.
And crucially, why do it now? That urgency piece.
Right? It's not enough to just have great free stuff. You have to guide them. What's the next step? How do they engage further?
That CTA is the bridge, really. It takes someone from just consuming your free thing to actually becoming a more engaged lead. And the urgency, the why now, cuts through the procrastination. People see so much stuff online, you need to prompt action.
He even throws out an economic example. Spending, say, $25 to deliver a really good lead magnet
Yeah.
could potentially slash your customer acquisition cost by like 3 times.
Yeah.
Uses an example going from $3,000 down to $1,000.
Wow. That really shows the leverage, doesn't it? Offer real value up front, attract better leads for less money initially, makes the whole customer getting process way more efficient, more profitable.
Okay, so you've got this awesome lead magnet, maybe in a few formats. How do you actually get it out there? Get eyeballs on it. This is where Hormozi brings in the core 4.
Right. The core 4, he says these are basically the only 4 ways to let anyone know about your stuff, period.
And he categorizes them based on 2 things.
Yeah, who you're talking to, warm audience, people who know you, or cold audience, strangers, and how you're talking one-to-one, like a private chat, or one-to-many, like a public post.
Which gives us the 4 quadrants. Warm outreach, posting content, cold outreach, and paid ads.
That's it. Covers all the bases.
It's simple, but when you think about it,
Yeah.
yeah, it seems comprehensive.
And his core message here is, if you're not getting enough leads, you're probably just not doing these core 4 things with enough skill or enough volume.
Or both.
So the problem isn't usually some magic missing tactic.
Not usually. It's about executing these fundamentals consistently, effectively.
Okay, let's dig into warm outreach first. So one-to-one with people who already know you. Hormozi calls this the cheapest and easiest way to find interested people.
And yet, he says it's often super underutilized.
Why do you think that is? What holds people back from just reaching out to their network? I think, well, partly it can feel a bit awkward maybe, like you're bothering people, or people just underestimate how big their warm network actually is. Friends, family, past clients, colleagues, social media connections. It adds up.
You think they've already tapped everyone out.
Right. But Hormozi's point is everyone has this warm audience. It's the lowest hanging fruit, often the fastest way to get some initial traction.
And the how can be varied, right? Calls, texts, emails, DMs on social, even voicemails.
Yep. Different channels work for different people. And the goal is usually to promote either your lead magnet, that free value, or maybe even your main offer, what you actually sell.
The advantage being that these people already know, and maybe trust you to some degree.
Exactly. That pre-existing relationship means less resistance, generally higher engagement, higher conversion rates compared to hitting up total strangers.
He gives a really specific action step here.
Right.
Reach out up to 3 times, like once a day for 3 days or until they reply.
And even follow up once a week with physical mail, he suggests.
That seems persistent.
It is. But it's about cutting through the noise. People are busy. They miss things. Multiple touch points across different channels just increases the odds they see your message and you get a response. Without being too annoying, hopefully. Needs balance.
And if they do respond, he has this simple framework, ACA.
Right. Acknowledge, compliment, ask.
So acknowledge their reply.
Yeah.
Offer a genuine compliment if it fits. And then ask a question that kind of steers the conversation towards your offer.
Yeah. It's a nice, soft approach. Build rapport first, acknowledge them, make it feel like a real conversation, not just a sudden pitch.
And this links back to the give-ask ratio he talks about. Give value before you ask.
Crucial in warm outreach. Offer help, share an insight, provide that lead magnet before you pivot to selling anything. Strengthen the relationship first.
Then he gets into offer desirability of those 10 factors. Dream outcome, likelihood of achievement, time delay, effort sacrifice, and their opposites. Maximize the good, minimize the bad.
Right. Those aren't just for ads or cold outreach. Those principles apply just as much when you're talking to your warm market. How appealing is what you're presenting to them?
Makes sense. Tailor the message even to people you know.
Absolutely. Thinking through those factors helps you craft a message that really resonates, even with your existing network. Makes it much more compelling.
And you offer some benchmarks here, which is helpful, like maybe 1 in 5 people you reach out to will engage somehow.
Yeah, and maybe 1 in 25 of those become a paying customer, at least initially.
And he shows how even that, done consistently, could potentially add up to like $100,000 a year or more just from warm outreach.
It really highlights the potential, doesn't it? Even if your network isn't huge, consistent, thoughtful, warm outreach can generate significant results. It's often the best place to start.
Okay, let's shift gears to posting free content. Hormozi talks about a big personal mindset shift he had, from just wanting to be rich to really getting the power of building a personal brand, building an audience. He mentions people like Kylie Jenner, The Rock, even a famous friend.
Yeah.
What was the big light bulb moment there?
The key thing he realized, I think, was that while any single piece of content might fade away, the audience you build that keeps growing, it becomes this incredibly valuable long-term asset.
Yeah.
More valuable than just the content itself.
The audience is the asset.
Exactly. It's a following that trusts you, that pays attention to you long after one specific video or post is gone.
He tells that story about spending $120,000 on coaching with some huge influencer.
Yeah.
And the advice was basically, you just got to do more.
Simple, right. But profound in a way. It just highlights the sheer volume and consistency often needed in content creation to really break through and build that audience.
It's not just about quality, it's quantity too.
Very much so. You need good stuff, yes, but you also need to be putting it out there regularly, consistently.
So the main goal of content, he says, is twofold. First, hook attention, grab them.
Yep. Stop the scroll.
And second, redirect that attention towards you and what you offer. How do you know if your hook is working? What do you measure?
The main thing is the percentage of people who actually start watching or reading after seeing the headline or the thumbnail. Your click-through rate, essentially, on the content itself. If that's high, your hook is doing its job.
And you improve that hook by, well, picking interesting topics for your audience.
Yeah.
Crafting killer headlines. And making sure the format fits the platform.
Exactly. He breaks down topic generation into 5 buckets, which is useful. Far past, big life lessons. Recent past, client wins, recent insights. Present, capturing ideas on the fly. Trending, commenting on current stuff. And manufactured, creating experiences to share.
That gives you a lot to work with, covers a lot of ground for ideas.
Totally. It provides a framework so you're not just staring at a blank page. You can pull from different areas to keep things fresh and relevant. Life happens profit by sharing yours, is how he puts it.
He also did this cool analysis of news headlines, pulling out the common triggers for high engagement. Things like recency, relevancy, celebrity, conflict.
Human interest, unusual stuff, ongoing stories.
Yeah.
Those are like timeless attention grabbers.
So the action step is try to bake one or more of those elements into your headlines.
Definitely. It just dramatically increases the odds people will actually click and engage with the content you worked hard to create.
And again, like with the lead magnet, format matters. Match the platform. Short video for TikTok or Reels, maybe longer article for a blog.
Speak the platform's native language, basically. What works on LinkedIn might bomb on Instagram and vice versa. You gotta tailor it.
Now, monetization. Making money from this audience. Hormozi suggests something a bit different from the usual always be closing sales approach. His mantra is give until they ask.
Yeah, it's a more patient strategy.
What's the thinking behind that? give, give, give.
The core idea is reciprocity, really. You provide so much value consistently without constantly asking for the sale that people start to feel, well, almost indebted, or at least genuinely curious. They want to know how they can work with you or buy from you.
So asking for money too soon actually slows you down.
That's his argument. It can turn people off, make them feel like just a transaction. By focusing purely on giving value first, you build a stronger relationship, more trust, a more loyal audience. Then, when they're ready, they come to you.
Give in public, ask in private. Let them self-select.
Pretty much. Patience pays off with faster growth and a more engaged audience in the long run, according to this model.
So how do you eventually monetize if you're not constantly asking?
2 main ways he outlines. Integration, sort of weaving mentions of your offers naturally into your long-form content. Not a hard pitch, just making it relevant.
Okay, and the other?
Intermittent asks. So most of your content is pure value, but then occasionally, strategically, you'll do a direct promotion. It stands out more because it's not constant.
So you can promote your lead magnet or your core offer just sparingly and strategically within the value stream.
Exactly. It respects the audience's attention while still providing clear paths for them to take the next step when they're ready.
Okay, scaling content, getting it out there wider. He talks about 2 opposing strategies, depth and width, or width and depth.
Right. Depth then width means go deep on one platform first. Master it. Build a big audience there, then expand.
Advantages.
You really learn the platform, benefit from its network effects, potentially build a very strong core following. Disadvantage, limited initial reach, maybe putting all your eggs in one basket.
And width and depth.
That's getting onto all the relevant platforms relatively early. Establish a presence everywhere, then work on improving quality and engagement across the board.
Pros and cons there.
Pro, broader reach, faster, easier to repurpose content. Con, resources get stretched thin, might sacrifice quality initially, harder to master any single platform.
What does Hormozi lean towards?
Generally, if you've got an established business, he seems to favor width then depth. Get out there faster. He says, the best time to start was yesterday, second best is today.
He also shares some key lessons learned.
Yeah.
Like shifting from generic how-to stuff to more personal how-I stories.
Yeah, that authenticity connects better. He also talks about starting narrow like a specific niche, a puddle, before trying to conquer the whole ocean. Establish authority first.
Makes sense. And using content as sales tools, using free content to keep existing customers happy. Lots of value there.
Definitely. And then he does that nice little tie-in at the end, asking for a book review, but framing it as helping another entrepreneur.
Right, reinforcing that giver mentality again.
Yeah.
Clever.
Very much aligns with his whole philosophy.
Okay, let's pivot to cold outreach. Reaching out to strangers. Hormozi is blunt here.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, volume matters. More targeted outreach equals more leads, generally speaking.
But it's tough.
Yeah.
What are the big hurdles with cold outreach?
He boils it down to 3 main problems. 1, just building that accurate, targeted list of people to reach out to. Who are they? Where are they?
Problem 2.
Knowing what to say to actually get a reply. Cutting through the noise, providing value up front.
And 3rd.
Just achieving enough volume, doing enough outreach attempts consistently, maybe across different channels, and following up.
So for problem 2, the what to say,
Yeah.
he really stresses leading with value, that Trojan horse idea again. Offer something useful first.
Absolutely. Don't just pitch immediately. Give them a reason to engage. He provides sample scripts, which is helpful, but emphasizes you have to test and tweak them. What works for one audience might not work for another.
And for volume, problem 3, there's this balance between automation and personalization. How do you strike that?
It depends, right? If you're targeting, say, 50 high-value CEOs, you probably want high personalization. If you're targeting 50,000 small business owners, you need automation for scale.
But maybe personalized within the automation.
Exactly. Use merge tags, segment your lists, tailor the angle, even if the core message is automated. Find that sweet spot between efficiency and making the outreach feel relevant.
And follow-up seems critical here, not just one email and done.
Oh, it's essential. He talks about multiple attempts, using different methods, email, maybe LinkedIn message, maybe even a call or physical mail, depending on the target. Persistence pays off hugely in cold outreach. Most people give up too soon.
Okay, moving on to the last of the core 4, paid ads. Hormozi frames this as basically trading money for attention, leads, customers.
Yep. A way to reach cold audiences, but at scale, faster than maybe organic content or cold outreach if you have the budget.
First job, Grab attention. He uses the cocktail party analogy. How do you get heard over the chatter? What are the verbal call-outs he suggests?
Several good ones. Using labels to directly name your audience, hey coaches, or attention, e-com store owners. Asking yes questions they'll agree with. Tired of low conversion rates. Using if-then statements, if you want X, then do Y, and highlighting ridiculous results, how I got Z result in Y days, things that make people stop and go, wait, what?
And nonverbal call-outs, too. The visuals matter.
Hugely. The images or video need to match the message. Who is the spokesperson? Are they credible, relatable, attractive to the audience? What's the scene? Does it visually show the problem or the solution? Using local landmarks if it's a local ad, all that visual context grabs attention fast.
Become a student of call-outs, he says. Pay attention to ads.
Good advice. See what grabs your attention and why.
Okay, so you've hooked them. Now you need to build interest. He quotes Ogilvy. The customer isn't a moron. She's your wife. Write like a real person.
Yeah, answer their unspoken questions, conversationally, intelligently.
He breaks this down into the what, who, and when of ad copy. Let's start with the what, those 8 key elements.
Right, this really defines the value prop. It's the dream outcome they want versus the nightmare they fear. The perceived likelihood they'll achieve it with you versus the risk of staying put. The time delay, how fast they get results with you versus how slow it is now, speed. And the effort and sacrifice required, ideally low with you, ease versus high without you.
You need to hit those core desires and fears in the copy.
Absolutely, that's the substance of the message.
Then the who, addressing them directly using those labels again.
Yeah, making it clear this message is for them. This is for SaaS founders. If you're a dentist, it increases relevance immediately.
And the when, incorporating their timeline.
Right. Talking about their past struggles, their present situation, their desired future. It creates context and urgency, highlights the consequences of acting now versus waiting, puts the offer right into their life story.
So putting the what, who, and when together is how you answer why they should be interested.
Exactly. It builds that compelling case.
Finally, turning that interest into actual leads. You still need a strong offer, obviously.
Which is the focus of 100 EM offers, yeah. Can't skip that.
And a clear call to action. Tell them what to do next. Click here, download this, sign up now.
Gotta be explicit. Don't make them guess.
What about budgeting for ads? Especially when testing.
His guideline is interesting. Budget about 1 to 2 times the profit you expect from one customer in their first 30 days.
Okay, so enough to actually see if you can acquire customers profitably.
Right. It gives you enough runway to test and gather data without betting the farm immediately. He talks about phases. Phase 1, just break even. Phase 2, figure out what works through testing. Phase 3, print money, scale up what's profitable.
He also mentions client-financed acquisition. What's that?
It's a smart strategy. Basically, using immediate upsells or related offers right after someone becomes a customer to cover your initial ad costs within that first 30 days.
So the customer effectively pays for their own acquisition quickly.
Yeah, like they buy a $50 membership and immediately get offered a $200 related product. If enough people take the upsell, your ad spend is covered almost instantly. Great for cash flow, allows faster scaling.
Smart. Any other tips for better ads?
Use your best organic content. If a post or video did great organically, it might make a killer ad. And user-generated content testimonials, customer videos, huge for social proof and trust.
And his rule of 100.
Yeah. Aim for 100 versions of everything. Headlines, images, copy snippets. It forces you to test widely and increases the odds you'll find those high-performing combinations. It's about volume of testing.
So getting better is all about testing. 1 variable per week per platform, he suggests.
And identifying the biggest bottleneck, where are people dropping off in your funnel? The ad click, the landing page, the checkout. Focus your optimization efforts there for the biggest impact. Fix the biggest leak first.
Makes sense. And when it's time to scale ads, get more leads, he talks about the size of the pie fallacy.
Right. Most businesses massively underestimate their total potential market size. They think the pie is smaller than it is.
So there's usually more room to grow than people think. How do you scale systematically?
His more, better, new framework. First, do more of what's already working. Just increase the budget on winning campaigns. Second, make it better. Optimize those campaigns, fix the bottlenecks we just talked about, improve conversion rates.
Right.
Third, explore new ad placements, new platforms entirely, maybe even different core 4 methods. But prioritize based on where you'll likely get the most leads for the least effort first. More, then better, then new.
Got it. That's a clear progression.
It provides a logical order for expansion.
So wrapping up the whole get leads section.
Yeah.
Advertising is just making stuff known.
Yep. And the core four are the ways to do it: trading time or money, reaching warm or cold people, publicly or privately.
And you don't need to master all four at once.
No. Pick one that fits your resources now. Get good at it. Start there. They all work if you work them. And they compound over time. Warm outreach builds your content audience. Content can fuel ads, etc.
This transitions perfectly into section 4, lead getters. Moving beyond just your efforts.
Exactly. This
Yeah.
is about leverage. Getting more results with less of your own direct effort.
How?
By getting other people to advertise for you. Using those same core four methods, but they're doing the work. Higher leverage.
And who are these lead getters?
4 main types. Your customers, through referrals. Your employees, doing outreach content. Agencies, hired specialists. And affiliates, partners promoting you.
And these lead getters often come from your initial core 4 efforts, right? Like a happy customer you reached via warm outreach becomes a referrer.
Precisely. It's a cycle. Leads become customers. Customers can become referrers, lead getters. Affiliates might find you through your content. It all connects. Ideally, every lead could eventually become a lead getter. Creates a self-perpetuating system.
Let's start with customers then. Referrals, why are they so good?
Couple of big reasons. Referred customers usually spend more over their lifetime, higher LTGP, and cost way less to acquire, lower tax. Sometimes the SAC is basically zero.
Free customers who are also more valuable. Sounds good.
And it can grow exponentially. Happy customer refers 2 friends, they each refer 2. You see how it can scale.
So why don't businesses get more referrals? 2 main reasons he gives.
1, the product or service just isn't that good. It's
Yeah.
unremarkable. People aren't excited to share something average.
Ouch. Truth hurts.
2, they simply don't ask. They assume it'll just happen.
So fix the product, make it referral worthy, exceed expectations, deliver results fast, make it easy for the customer.
Yep. Focus on delighting them, getting them that dream outcome faster and easier than they expected. Then, crucially, ask. Ask happy customers. Make it super easy for them to refer. Tell them why it helps you. Maybe offer an incentive, a discount for them or for both them and the friend. Ask soon after a positive experience. Just build asking into your process.
Okay, next, lead getter, employees. How do they fit in?
Trained employees can do the same core 4 activities you were doing initially. Salespeople doing outreach, marketing staff creating content or running ads. More trained employees, more leads, less work directly on your plate.
That's real leverage. Trading your doing for managing.
Exactly. That's how you build a scalable enterprise that doesn't rely solely on you. He pushes back hard on the nobody can do it but me myth.
Get someone to spend all their time doing it, they'll probably get better than you were.
That's his point. Shift your beliefs. Find good people, train them well, use his 3Ds. Document the process clearly, demonstrate it effectively, help them duplicate it consistently.
And if they're not getting it,
It's probably your training, not them. Refine the process, the explanation. Praise effort, give fast feedback, retrain if needed.
and keep them happy so we stick around and keep getting leads. Treat them well, fair pay, avoid burnout.
Basic, but crucial for retention and motivation.
Third lead getter, agencies, external specialists for ads, outreach, content.
Right. They promise faster, better results because it's all they do. Hormozi's had mixed experiences.
Some good, some not so good.
Yeah. Led him to a strategic approach. Use agencies mainly for 2 things: learning a new method you don't understand or getting onto a new platform quickly.
So hire them to accelerate learning or setup, not necessarily forever.
Often, yeah. His strategy now: maybe hire a good enough agency first to just learn the ropes. Then, if needed, an elite one to really maximize, but always have your internal team learning alongside them. Be upfront. We want to learn this from you.
And pick them carefully. Checklist criteria. Do they get your business? Case studies. Clear communication. Set terms and deadlines.
Due diligence is key. Talk to several. Don't just hire the first one. The end goal often is to build the skill in-house and eventually outperform the agency yourself.
Okay, final lead getter, affiliates. Other businesses or people promoting your stuff to their audience. High leverage potential here.
Huge potential. He built big affiliate programs for Prestige Labs, supplements, and Ellen Software. It's about finding partners with audiences similar to yours.
And making them an offer they can't refuse.
Well, a really good offer, yeah. Using those same value principles.
Yeah.
What's the dream outcome for the affiliate? How likely are they to succeed? How much effort for them? How quickly do they get paid?
He has a 6-step process. Find affiliates, make an offer, qualify them.
Make sure they actually use and understand your product, ideally. Figure out payment tiers, maybe pay more for more sales, give them marketing materials, help them launch promotionally a whisper, tease, shout sequence, he calls it.
And critically, keep them promoting. How?
Integration. Make it easy for them to weave your offer into their regular business. Maybe they give away your lead magnet to build their list. Or sell your lead magnet as an entry point. Or sell your core offer directly as a complementary product. Make it a seamless part of their value chain.
Treat affiliates like valued customers too, right? Keep the goodwill high.
Absolutely. It's all about the relationship and mutual benefit.
So, summing up lead getters, they provide leverage for massive lead flow.
Referrals and affiliates especially, he calls them compounding businesses. Customers who keep buying via referrals and partners who keep selling. Build that affiliate army right, and maybe you barely need direct ads anymore.
It all hinges on those win-win relationships.
Totally.
Okay, final thoughts from Hormozi. He knows this is a lot of information. Don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, focus on what applies to you right now.
He sees a natural path many businesses take.
Mm-hmm.
Start with referrals, bring in employees for leverage, maybe use agencies strategically, then build affiliate programs for scale.
But the key is, pick a strategy and stick with it. Expect bumps. He personally gives a new lead source 3 to 6 months to really figure it out. Failure is part of learning.
Don't jump around too much. Persistence is key.
Exactly. Choose your path, commit, iterate, and remember scaling usually means getting help from others, those lead getters.
So as we wrap this deep dive on 100M leads, the big message seems clear. Consistent strategic effort on lead gen, either your own core 4 stuff or leveraging lead getters, that's the engine of growth.
Absolutely fundamental. And for you listening, aiming to get smart fast, we really hope breaking down Hormozi's framework like this gave you real, actionable insights you can use.
So here's that final thought to chew on this week. Looking at all these methods, the core 4, the lead getters, what's the one single message you're going to really explore or double down on right now, this week? What's your biggest immediate opportunity?
Identify that one thing. And if you want to go even deeper, Hormozi's got all those free resources, the books, videos, his podcast over at acquisition.com. Definitely worth checking out.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Hope you found it valuable and ready to put into action. Until next time.
If you're still here, it means something in you knows you're meant for more. But understand this. The distance between stagnation and explosive success isn't talent. It's traffic. You've just unlocked some of the most dangerous ideas in digital business from 100 emerald leads. But listening alone changes nothing. Application is the new currency. And those who don't act today? They're tomorrow's cautionary tale. Subscribe now, not just for more content, but for the code to dominate. Smash that like button like your future depends on it, because it does. And plug into the links below to access exclusive blueprints, bonus resources, and the private playbook our community is using to obliterate obscurity. Angelina and I are about to unpack the big takeaways in a powerhouse panel session, but before we do, it's time for you to step into the arena. Think you're ready for success? Prove it. Hit the knowledge check below. It's not just a quiz. It's your final filter. The litmus test for those who refuse to blend in and are ready to build empires of attention. You want 100 million leads? Then earn your first 10 right here. Let's go.